Good day, class. I'm Dr. Shogoro to take you through lectures on the index number. The topic we're going to cover the subtopic we're going to cover under this topic include price and quantity relative, method of calculating index number, and some questions for students to practice. The most important things in this course is that at the end of this lecture or topic, we should be able to apply this topic to our daily activities. One thing that we don't know, majority of us believe that mathematics is all about putting figures together without knowing that is what is applicable to life. The index number, if you look at the notes given to you, you will see that I started the topic with this statement that most often changing occurring over time need to be described, as well as comparing some of the items with corresponding figure. That is, you realize that changes that occur over time need to be described. When you are describing these changes, we need to compare some items with corresponding figure in a given word references. However, these are always achieved by the use of index number. That is, you can only make comparisons of any change. If you want to compare the change that occur between the dispensation of Major General Buhari, our incumbent president, and that of the Jonathan, we can use figure, and this can be achieved by using index number as well as price of things. Maybe you want to look at their prices, the price of what of item during Buhari and that of Jonathan. We can achieve this with a mathematical topic called index number, which is usually expressed as a percentage. When you are calculating this, when you want to make this comparison between the items, we use percentages to indicate change in quantity. Either they want to look at it in terms of quantities, price, values, and other related variable. That is, any related variable you think, maybe in terms of quality, in terms of price, and other maybe performance. So we use index number. That tells you that the index number is used for making reference, making comparison between items of references. Now look at what we mean by index number. You will see it is already there, but just for me to demonstrate what I send as note. An definition: an index number is the ratio of quantity or value. Please underline that word, the ratio of quantity or value of current year over or period to quantity or value of the base year or period expressed in terms. That is, if you want to compare or to compare any item, there are two important things you must know. The first one is the year you are interested on, which is what we refer to as current year. And the other year is the base year. But when you are making these two comparisons, what you should notice is that they must be in the same terms of reference. If you want to use year, you make use of year. If you want to use value, you make use of the value. So I said it's a ratio. It's a ratio. For example, we define index number, which we normally represent as I. We said it's a ratio. And I know if you go back to our secondary school, we will realize that we represent ratio to be one thing over the other. So it means index number, which we denote by I, is the ratio, we said is the ratio of the quantities of the current year. That is, let's use key to represent the quantity of the current year over, this is what we mean by, this is what we mean by the ratio over the quantity of the base year. That is the year you are using as year of determination. Then, and I made mention that it's always represented or calculated based on percentage. So this is the formula for calculating index number. When you want to make reference in terms of quantity. So I mean our Q refer to quantity. So remember the quantity of the current year. We said we should use Qn to represent the quantity of the current year over the quantity of the base year. And we use 0 to represent the base year times 100. Percentage means 100. So that is when we are looking at it in terms of quantity. I can as well look at it in terms of price. So if it is to be price, it will be the price of the current year all over the price of the base year times 100 over 1. Where our I represent or stand for index, Q for quantity, and P for price. It depends on the question given to you. You may be asked to find the index number in terms of quantity. When it is quantity, you use Q. And when it is price, we use P. I've made mention of it. I said our QN should be the current year or period quantity. That is our this N, where our N can take either first year, second year, third year, to whatever year of our interest. But our Q0 is the base year, the year of our reference, or the quantity of our reference, or the price of our reference. Let's look at an example. If you look at the materials given to you, let me quickly write that for the benefit of those that may not have this and they wanted to watch the video. So we have the price of a new brand, the price of a new brand of refrigerator, was 60 naira, 60,000 in 2009, but rose to 80,000 in 2010. Find the index. Find the index. Find the price index. In this case, since we are using price, find the price index. So you can see to find the price index of this, we are told or informed that the refrigerator was sold at the rate of 60,000 in 2009, and as well giving the information about the cost of refrigerator in 2010. To find the price index, all what we need to do is, because we are giving price not in terms of quantity, so the price ratio or index, so you can use this price I, which is price index, is equals to, because we are giving price, we have P N all over P 0 times 100. And if you look at our P N here, is equals to the current year, which is given as 80,000, and our P0 is equals to 60,000, which is referred to as our base year. Therefore, we can now have our PI, which is equals to our 80,000 over 60,000 times 100 over 1. And I believe if you use your calculator very well, you realize that this will give us 133.this% between the year. You have to write this. That is, there is a change of 133.33% between the year of 2009 and that of 2010. So, if you want to do this, the only way you can represent this is that we have to minus this from that 100, minus 100 from this, you have 33.3%. That is the price index, the comparison between that is, this thing has gone up, it has gone up with 33.3% of the amount of how much they are selling it before. That is, the difference between their prices is that this thing, the regulator now is 33% increase when you compare it to that of 2009. And I made mention, I said this can also be demonstrated in terms, we can demonstrate this in terms of our price. Let's take another example. You bear with me that it's very, very easy things to calculate, especially those that are not mathematically inclined. Let's look at the second example. I made everything when you're reading the note. It's very, very easy. Let's look at second example. So I said the cost of making standard pot of soup. The cost of making standard pot of soup. Standard pot of soup. For 1992 and 1994 is given below. I have the table. I have that table here to demonstrate or to indicate this. So I have my ingredient here. I have the unit of the ingredient. I have the price of 1992 and I have the price of 1994. So meat as at that 1992 is measured in kilogram and is sold at the rate of 20,000 or 20 naira, whereas in 1994 we can buy the meat at the rate of 30. The same thing fish in kilogram, it is sold at the rate of 10 naira and this is 15 naira. Vegetable, we sell it in wraps and it's 2 naira then this is 3 naira. We all know that we just make vegetable to make the food more easy to swallow. So we are salt of corn. It was sold at the rate of 5 naira and 8 naira respectively. So we have oil. So they sold this in bottle at the rate of 8 naira and this cost 10 naira. Then we have others, maybe Maggi and other things of your choice. It's also measured in kilogram. So let's say we bought some in 4 naira and this one is 6 naira. Look at this. This is the prices of this item between these 2 years. So in this case, we realize that our base year will be 1992 and our current year will be what? 1974. So 1994, sorry. So we can see the item. So the question is now, calculate the relative. The question, calculate the price. Please just note that the price relative for vegetable and salt using 1992 as the base year. Can see we're given the base year to be 1992. So remember that there's only 2 items we are asked to calculate and we have series of what? Series of items. So if you look at it here, let's quickly work this. The first question is to calculate that of vegetable. So it means vegetable calculation now. Vegetable. For the vegetable, we have our P0, which is the base year price, is equals to vegetable is equals to 2 naira. Is equals to 2 naira. Please know that all these prices are in terms of naira. We are not in America, we are in Nigeria, so we always use our currency 2 naira. And you should make sure you write this in exam, because failures to do that I may indicate it in other terms of other forms of currency. So our P0 is this, while our PN for the same year is what? 3 naira. 3 naira. You can see, I know a primary school student should be able to bring out this information from the table. It's very easy. That is how mathematics is very, very easy. No, okay, we are pleased to do that. So, and now our price relative, or times we call it price index. The price relative is equal to our Pn, because it's in terms of price, then P0 times 100 over 1. So which means our this is 3 naira over 2 naira, then times 100 over 1. And that will give us 150,000. 150%, which implies that, remember I told you that you have to remove this 100 from this. It means the price of this thing gone up minus 100 will give us 50%. So indicating that the price of this thing gone up with 50% increment. 50% increment. We don't just make comparison, and these are the mistakes people do. We compare things without using mathematics. So the only way we can know the increase that has occurred in this information given to us is by finding the price relative, which you can now see that within the year of 1992 and 1994, the price of vegetable increases by 50%. It increases by 50%. So the that of the salt, you can easily calculate that of the salt. That of the salt also, that of the salt, let's quickly rub off this in order to calculate that of the salt. The salt, so we put indicate salt, not vegetable in this case. Now salt. The price for that salt, the cup of salt is, for the base year is 5 naira, whereas for the current year is 8 naira. 8 naira. Like we have said, we said the price relative is going to be our 8 naira over our 5 naira times 100 over 1. And if you look at that, we realize that this will give us 160.00%. Please always make sure you have your decimal to be 2 decimal places. I know some of us are using calculator of different form, but convert or approximate your decimal to 2 decimal places. So for this, like I said you should remove it from 100. Have you all remove 100 from it? So we have 60% increment. That is, this price of oil and that of in 1992 has gone up with a value of 60% when compared to that of 1994. I hope there is no problem. I believe there shouldn't be any problem, because God has made us, have been made to make that something very, very easy. So you can now, for verbal interpretation, because I love verbal interpretation, you should be able to interpret mathematics, the result of any mathematical solution to people, to a layman, a person selling bread or selling puff-puff, they should be able to do it. It is because the mathematicians are not doing that makes mathematics to be difficult for us. You can see there is nothing difficult in what we are doing. So it means this something can easily be done by secondary school students. So I said I will not further interpretation. The interpretation of this is that the results show that the price of a rack of vegetable has increased by 50%, while a cup of salt has increased by 60% between the year 1992 and 1994. You can see very easy to interpret. Very easy. The other mathematics we have been seeing that it look cumbersome. This is the way they are. This is the way they are. So you shouldn't have that phobia that mathematics is very difficult. No, we have to change our orientation for that. Now let's quickly go to that is price relative. Let's go to quantity. I told you you can measure this your index number in terms of price and as well as what? Quantity. So what we have been doing or demonstrating since is the price relative. That's why you see me putting PR is equals to PA, that is the current year, the ratio of the current year and that of the what? Base year, P0, then multiplied by 100 over 1. Remember, it is always expressed in percentage. So quantity relative, it has the same definition with that of the price relative. And I said quantity relative is similar in manner, is expressed as you put Q at quantity relative and it's equals to QN over Q naught times 100 over 1. Yes, you put it like that. You can see it's very similar and the same thing, because instead of our P before we use Q, then I will still maintain, because it's relative. We are making it in terms of reference and we have our Q to represent the quantity. Now, this is to say that the quantity relative is the ratio of a given commodity in a given period to the quantity of the same commodity in another period, known as what? Base period. That is the ratio of a given quantity in a given period over that of the base period, then multiply times 100. So, with, like I've said, I don't need to demonstrate this. It is very similar. Instead of using price now, we can deduct or try to extract the value of the quantity given to us in any of the questions and express them in terms of given quantity. So we equally have another calculation, another section of this, and that is term value relative. That is, we want to look at this comparison in terms of value. I told you we can compare things in terms of price, which we do. Look, I can see now, even the current situation of Nigeria with the hike of petroleum products, and we can compare it to that of the other dispensation. Now, likewise, we can compare the quantity. It's not the same quantity you buy in 2 years ago that we also buy today. If you go with to petrol station with 10,000 naira that time, you will see you always buy half of a tank. But now with 10 naira, I mean with that same 10,000 naira, the quantity is